Hey y'all, this is Conrad Layn here. I'm going to share how to make your Turo business attractive. It's kind of like when you're attracted to someone, it's just something about them that attracts you. It doesn't matter if you're male, if you're female. So I'm going to make your Turo business attractive so that when Turo gets to see your profile, they can't help to want to date your profile. So if you want to learn how to make your Turo business attractive and your Turo listing attractive, follow my screen through. I'm going to teach you the tricks of the trade on how to bring more business to your attractive Turo listing. After I get done with you, I'm going to take you to Turo Gym, where I'm going to work you out and make sure you become more attractive to Turo guests. So I'm going to teach you the tricks of the trade. Follow the screen through. Love you guys. Peace. Hello everyone, this is Conrad Layn here. I'm going to share how to make your Turo listing attractive. Like you see that attractive guy or attractive girl or attractive whoever, and you're like, they're so beautiful, they're amazing. That means there's key elements and components that attract you to them. But this is not a science course. This is not a love course. This is nothing of that. This is a Turo course. I'm going to teach you how to make your Turo listing attractive. And let's go down. I'm going to use my Mercedes that went through a claim. You go to edit listing. And you go down here, people. Go to trip preferences. And this is where the magic happens. I was already in here a little bit earlier, but I want to show you an example. So look, this is reality. If you're a Turo host, if you're succeeding, and it's kind of like in life, if you're succeeding in life and you're really succeeding and you're successful and whatever means of that means to you, that's basically what your meaning of success is based on what you believe. If you're at that point where you feel you're successful, maybe at that point, you, as some people might say, the more you succeed, the harder you become to get, but also the more options you have because you're basically on top. But if you're that new person coming in, say like an intern, you don't have as many options. You have to maybe accept that new job. The example could go on and on. The point is, when you're actually successful, is usually life becomes a little bit easier and you actually have more options. And when you're not as successful, you have less options. That's a general rule of thumb, in my opinion. Think about it. The more successful you are, the more easier things are typically. The more money you have, the more success you have. Typically speaking, yes, we all have problems, but the more you succeed, the more options you have, the more opportunities you have. But if you're not as successful, you haven't made it yet, you have to probably do more grunt work. You have to work harder, you put more sweat equity in. Just how it is, people. So this is what this is about. So if you're that superstar stud, Turo host, doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you're just really killing it and you're doing a good job, you probably don't need to do this, but you can still implement this because, hey, we're not perfect. Sometimes maybe a hard season comes. Maybe the bookings stop coming in. Maybe business gets slow. So it's good to still be able to wear this hat as well. So let me share this other hat, this other strategy. So it doesn't matter if you're a super stud, male or female, great host on Turo, or if you're struggling, you can't even get any bookings or no one likes your listing, you're just not getting any business. Time to switch the strategy. So go into your trip preferences and you got to do this. See where it says book instantly? I'll highly recommend, you don't have to do this. Do your own due diligence. I'm just your friend on YouTube, but hey, this is my opinion. If you're struggling, especially, or if you're having a hard season or your bookings are slowed up, switch on to book instantly, meaning that as soon as someone wants your vehicle, they could book it instantly. There's no time frame like that. 1 minute. If they see your booking and they want it, they book it right there and then. So they could book instantly. You could select home location, delivery location, or guest location. So I unselected those. So if I want to select, okay, they could book instantly. That means if they book instantly, they can actually they can actually have the option for me to deliver the vehicle to them instantly, like within the fastest amount of time. Guest location, I'll turn that on. Delivery locations, okay, all the delivery locations I select, say Biltmore Hotel, Hilton Hotel, LAX, let's say, for example, Bob Hope Airport or airports near you, whatever is near your area, wherever your delivery options are, they could select and have you book and deliver vehicle instantly. And home location, wherever your home location is, they can actually book immediately and have you deliver the vehicle to them immediately. So I would highly recommend putting that, especially if you're a struggling host. Now, if you're killing it, you don't have to do this. But if you're not, and you need more trips under your belt so you can start becoming an all-star host, because if you're not getting any trips, you can't become an all-star host because you don't have any trips. You need reviews, you need good status, you need 5-star reviews. You can't get any stars if you have no trips. So start getting it in. So in the beginning, yes, maybe you don't want to keep doing this. Maybe you'll get burnt out. But in the beginning, if you're not getting business anyway, you got to switch it up and just start accepting everything. Advance notice. The lowest amount of time you can put is 1 hour. So that means that if someone books my car right now, they could book it and I got to bring it to them in 1 hour. Like I said, it could be 2 hours, it could be 2 days, 1 day notice. But if you're struggling, like I said, if you're a superstar host already and you're already killing it, you probably don't need to do this. But if you're struggling, like a lot of people are struggling, switch up the strategy, people. Go in here to trip preferences and put 1 hour on home location, delivery location, and guest locations. I would highly recommend that. And at that point, and if you say, hey, well, I might not have enough time to get ready. Well, hey, I guess you have a good problem now. What a good problem to have. You don't have enough time to get ready because people actually want your car now. Different than before, you weren't getting any bookings. So for those that want to say, oh, I'm not going to do it because I don't have enough time. Okay, that's on you, but you're not getting any bookings anyway. I'm not being facetious here. I'm just saying, I'm trying to give you another strategy. You don't have to do this forever. I'm just saying, do enough so you can start getting some good reviews on your profile. Do it for maybe a month or two, and then you can stop doing this if you want to. Or hey, you might grow to love this actually. But if you can stop doing it, but at least get some trips under your belt so you have some good reviews. So now you start organically building business and people start liking your profile. You see all the good reviews you have. You got to put your sweat equity in. You got to put the grunt work in it. You're not there yet. You're not that power host yet. You're not that all-star host who gets deals thrown to you. You're not, however. So I'm trying to help you get to that point. So change it to 1 hour. Trip buffer. The lowest amount you can pick is 3 hours. The goal here is put everything at the lowest amount. See, home location 3 hours, delivery location 3 hours, and guest location 3 hours. It says automatically block requests before and after every trip. So what this means simply is if someone brings a car back right now, right, and say someone wants to book Conrad Layn's vehicle, I could put a trip buffer, and the lowest amount of time I could put is 3 hours and everything. What that means is that 3 hour buffer gives me time to reset, gives me time to travel to them if I need to, gives me time to clean the car, especially in this crazy time of being in the COVID time. It gives me time, 3 hour basic break to fix and get the car ready for the next guest. And they have to wait 3 hours after a trip. They could book instant, like if the car's been sitting there already, they could book within, I have to get it to them within 1 hour. But if it just came back from a reservation, which happens quite often to me, where I get a booking and another booking and another booking, which is a good problem to have, I have a 3 hour buffer, and the lowest amount you pick is 3 hours. I recommend going to the lowest so that you have 3 hour buffer. So that means it doesn't matter if it's a home location, if you got delivered to one of the popular locations, or if you got delivered to their guest location, you have a 3 hour buffer after a trip that just ended. But a good problem to have, people. Next, trip duration. I strongly recommend doing this as well. Set these shortest and longest trips that guests can book. I'll go to the options. See, any, 1 day. I put any so that it opens you up. Longest possible trip, any. Now, like I said, as you grow your business, you might not be able to sustain this because this is pretty much you're accepting everyone and anything and everyone, every request. But again, the goal here is to get enough trips under your book in the short term so you start building up the reviews on your profile so that you start organically building your business up. And so that when people look at your profile, you don't have to keep doing this. They say, oh, you have 10 good trips, 5 stars on all of them. Great, you become an all-star host that way. You got to start doing things. You don't have to keep doing this for the whole year. Just do it for at least short time frame. If you can't handle it, do it at least for a month or two and knock it out. Get some trips under your belt so that way you can turn this off, and then at least people start seeing your profile and you start becoming more attractive. This is how you become attractive. You're in the workout phase. You're going to the gym. This is the gym basically. You're doing things you never wanted to do. You're doing crunches. You're lifting weights. You're sore. You're hurt. You're in pain. But guess what? After you get out the gym after 2 or 3 months, you look a lot better. You're doing better now. And again, this is not meant to be that type of conversation. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying that as an analogy, people. The point is, this is basically the gym, and you're going here to become more attractive. And to become more attractive, you're basically accepting everything. So you're basically convenient, you're streamlined, you're user friendly because you're the last minute option where if someone has a quick flight or needs to get a car really quickly, you're there. Conrad Layn's available, or you're available because shortest possible time, any, longest possible trip, any, meaning that they could book 1 day, they could book 5 hours, they could book 3 months, they could book 12 months. They can. I've had the shortest trip I've ever had, I think was 4 hours, which is great. And the reason I like this, and this is a good tip in general, shortest possible trip, because I'm okay with it. Now, maybe you're not okay with it, but I'm okay with it. Like, hey, you're gonna pay me for a full day for 4 hours? Cool. But that's the thing. So when you change this, if you put like 1 day, that means the shortest trip has to be 1 day. I don't like that because it takes away the option of someone who wants to book for like 5 hours or 12 hours, which happens often to me. Sometimes people just have a half-day trip. Sometimes they need a car really quick for a few hours and they bring it right back. I get a lot of trips like that, and I like that. So that's just another way to earn some extra money that you might not be aware of. And again, I'm not perfect, but it's just, I really want to share this with you. So longest possible trip should be any, shortest possible trip should be any. So that way you can have the option to earn as much money as possible. Doesn't matter how short the trip is, if it's 3 hours or if it's a year-long trip or a 3-month trip, doesn't matter. Highly recommend that. And see how I left this unboxed, require longer weekend trips? I unmarked that because if you mark that, there's a 2-day minimum. But again, if you do that, that kind of conflicts it where now you take the possibility for someone to just book it for 1 day. So I take that off, however, and I would recommend you take that off. It's up to you, it's your business. You do your own due diligence. I'm just your friend on YouTube. But the point is, if you unselect that, now you can actually collect the 1-day trips, the 3-hour trips. If you do that based on the weekends, they have to book it for at least 2-day minimum. I think that's such a hindrance in my opinion, because what that does, say if the person just wants it for 1 day, now they can't book your car because it's a 2-day minimum. So I highly recommend keep that unchecked, and if you don't check that. And last but not least, long-term trips. See, long-term trips. Guess who searched for long-term trips will see your car in search results. And I would check this on, so I unchecked it, check it, we'll consider long-term trips. So that means that your car is available if they need it for a long-term, which that's great. That means if it's long-term, you're making money passively without having to constantly clean your car and vacuum your car, and you're making the same amount of money without having to do any effort. Beautiful. So that's what I recommend. That's how you actually make your Turo business more attractive, and you work them out at this Turo gym here, and you make it more attractive to people. So that's LaynTuroUniversity for you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Love you guys. And that's how you do it, people. Conrad Layn out. Peace.